Well, hello YouTube friends and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is episode 3 on my ADHD journey, flying a jet without instructions and no idea how to land. So, you know what's funny about this series? I've spent 2 episodes telling you what was wrong with me, what I didn't know, what I couldn't name. Well, today's different. Today is letting you know what I'm doing about it, what's actually changed. What I genuinely wish I had known, deeply wish I had known 40 years ago. Because this episode is the person who suspects or has been diagnosed or maybe he's been living with it for years and just hadn't figured out what to do. Now, my disclaimer is, again, I'm not a medical doctor. This is my story. This is what I'm doing. Your story could be different. And probably will be. And the best course of action if you suspect you have ADHD is to talk to your doctor. So, let's go. Welcome back. So for most of my career, CEOs, CFOs, they called me the fixer. When a company was in chaos, when a recent acquisition went sideways, when all hell broke loose, they called me. It was my job to go in and fix it. It was my job to go into a burning building and then walk back out. And I've done that well more than 30 times in my career, and I'm generally good at it. What I didn't understand, what nobody understood, is why. But chaos, high stakes, everything broken and no one knows where to start, now that is the environment that the ADHD brain is built for. Hyperfocus kicks in, pattern recognition is running at full speed. The noise that paralyzes most people is the exact signal that my brain needs to lock in. They didn't need to hire a consultant. They'd already accidentally hired a brain that ran on crisis fuel. Now, not every supervisor got me. Some of them saw a high performer and deployed me. They didn't understand the source, but they understood the output. One of my CFOs kept sending me into problem acquisition after problem acquisition because I kept walking out. But what he never asked me is what it cost the firefighter. But others formed an opinion before they had the evidence. Then they filtered everything, every quirk, every blunt comment, every hyperfocus spiral through that lens. But now here's what the research actually shows about ADHD in the workplace. Undiagnosed ADHD adults display behaviors that low emotional intelligence supervisors consistently missed. Interrupting not because we're rude, but because the thought is evaporating and we have to get it out. Appearing distracted because the meeting is moving 1/10 the speed of our brain. Inconsistent performance, brilliant when engaged, but invisible when bored. You see, a supervisor who lacks the self-awareness to separate their reactions from reality will miss all of it. And then they'll taint the well. They'll say the wrong thing to the right people. And then you're behind when you enter the room. I know exactly what that feels like, and I bet many of you guys do too. So, what am I actually doing about it? Because to be honest with you here, that's the point of the whole series. So I started medication recently, Strattera. It's a non-stimulant ADHD medication. I'm in the early days of it, and the jury's kind of still out on it. You know, there's a couple other options that I looked at. This is what my doctor wanted to start me out with. And because I have SVT, heart issues, I needed a non-stimulant, and there is limited choices. You know, I can't take Adderall, for instance. And the first couple of days felt different. Not really bad different, but just different. You know, like something shifted in the background noise. It's a little foggy. My appetite's dialed back. My body's just adjusting to something new. And I'll be straight with you. I've never been a person that enjoyed the way medication made me feel, and I'd be a terrible drug addict. But this is different because I understand now what it's trying to do. It's not masking anything. It's not making me feel like someone else. It's attempting to regulate the system that's been running without regulation for over 50 years. And I'll keep you updated because the real story isn't day 2. The real story is a month, 2 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months. So what else am I doing? Well, I'm learning to recognize the patterns when I'm in them, like the hyperfocus spiral, which I went through today, and the post-hyperfocus crash, which I also went through today. It's the 3 a.m. brain trying to solve problems that nobody asked me to solve. It's the dopamine chase that looks like productivity, but it's really just novelty seeking with better branding, right? But I do recognize it now. Now, do I always stop it? Of course not. Sometimes I enjoy, especially hyperfocus. I love the heck out of it. And the dopamine chase is very darn good when you're getting the dopamine. But I do recognize it, and that changes everything. So here's what actually happened the day I got the diagnosis. Not medication, not therapy, just the diagnosis. You have ADHD. I stopped explaining my brain as a failure of willpower. 40 years of why can't you just focus, or 40 years of why did you start 6 things and only finish 2, or 40 years of performing calm when the inside of the jet is lit up red. The diagnosis didn't give me an excuse, it gave me an explanation. And those are very different things, because an excuse is, I can't help it, it's fine. An explanation says, now I understand the mechanism. How can I work with this instead of against it? Like the hyperfocus, like the dopamine chase when you're shopping for cars and then shopping for parts for the cars that you're not going to buy, or shopping for cars, in my case, and buying them. So this one's the hard one. What I wish I had known when I was 13 or 23 or 33 or 43 or even 53. I wish I'd known that the exhaustion was real, that keeping up with things that came easy to other people was genuinely costing me double the energy, that I wasn't lazy, that I wasn't broken. I was just running a different operating system with no documentation. I wish I'd known why some environments lit me up and others just drained me. Why I could spend 14 hours rebuilding network infrastructure, but couldn't make myself return a phone call. Why my best ideas came at midnight and my hardest hours were 2 p.m. I wish I had known about rejection sensitivity before it shaped 40 years of people pleasing and conflict avoidance, that before I smoothed things over when I should have spoke up, before I chose the path of least resistance because the alternative felt physically dangerous. I wish I had known that people I connected with deeply, my team, my mentors, my close circle, weren't attached to my performance. They were attached to what was underneath it. The wiring, the depth, the loyalty, the intensity. And most of all, I wish I'd known that my brain wasn't a liability that I was managing. It was an asset I just didn't know how to use. But you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay whether you're 25 and you were just diagnosed, or you're 45 and you're suspecting, or you're in your 50s and you just got the instruction manual after a lifetime of flying blind. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay because you've already been doing the hard part without the tools, without the language, without anybody telling you what was happening. And you're still here. So listen, if this series hit home with you, share it. Because somebody you know may be flying the same jet without a manual. So until next time, remember, wander more, enjoy life, chase your sunset, because you can bet I'm chasing mine. And I hope to see you real soon. Take care.